Sinbad the Sailor. Long, long ago, there was a young man named Sinbad. He was making his living doing business on a ship from one island to another. One day, he reached a beautiful island. There was nobody on the small island, so Sinbad and his fellows walked around the island together, enjoying the scenery. After they walked for a while, they came to a beautiful spring. Sinbad and his fellows drank the spring water and took a rest. Sinbad was so tired that he fell soundly asleep there. When he woke up, all his fellows were gone. The ship had left, leaving Sinbad behind alone. Oh no, what happened? Sinbad climbed a tall tree and looked out into the sea. There was no sight of the ship anywhere. What should I do? Oh wait, what is that? He saw something white and big far in the distance on the island. Sinbad went to see what it was, and he found a very beautiful round building there. It was as smooth as a ball. How can I get inside? He walked around the building to find no entrance at all. Suddenly, the sky became dark, so Sinbad looked up. There from the sky, a giant bird came flying. It was a great bird named Luff. It was so great that it fed elephants to its baby birds. Sinbad soon realized that the big white round thing was Luff's egg. Luff landed in its nest and started warming its egg. Sinbad thought, this bird could take me to a place where I could find people who can rescue me. So he took off his turban and tied himself tightly around Luff's leg with it. The day broke, and Luff flew high up in the air with a loud roar like thunder. After Luff flew around for a while, it landed on the ground. Sinbad quickly untied himself from Luff's leg and stood there on the ground. Luff grabbed something that looked like a huge log with its claws and flew off. Looking at it closely, Sinbad saw that it was a giant snake. Sinbad looked around and knew that he was now in a valley between high mountains. How can I get out from here? As he was walking around thinking of a way to get out, he came to a place where shining diamonds were scattered all over the ground. Wow! Unbelievable! He exclaimed with joy. He, however, was astonished to see other things in front of him as well. There were a great number of giant snakes coiled up. They were big enough that they could easily swallow an elephant. I will be eaten up by these giant snakes. I need to hide myself somewhere, said Sinbad. Sinbad found a small cave and slept there overnight. When morning came, he looked around to find a way to get out of this horrible valley. Then suddenly, thud! A huge lump of lamb fell down from above. Sinbad was very surprised, but he soon understood why those chunks of meat were thrown down into the valley. Sinbad once heard that clever merchants did this in order to get the diamonds. First, the diamonds would stick to the meat. Then the eagles and vultures would swoop down and grab the meat with their claws and fly back to the top of the mountain. Then the merchants would make a loud noise and scare the birds. The birds would get frightened, drop the lump of meat, and fly away. In the end, the merchants would then take the diamonds out of the meat. Thud! Again, a big lump of meat fell down from above. Sinbad stuffed his pockets with some big diamonds as much as he could. Then he tied the big lump of meat to his body with his turban tightly. At last, a vulture swooped down to him and grabbed the lump of meat with Sinbad in its claws. The vulture flew up high to the mountaintop. Then some people shouted out, which frightened the vulture into dropping the lump of meat. The vulture flew away quickly, leaving the meat behind. The merchants ran toward the meat and were very surprised to see Sinbad crawling out from under the meat. Sinbad told them his story of what had happened and shared the diamonds he had with the merchants. They were delighted and prepared a ship for Sinbad. Sinbad set sail for home on that ship. He could finally return home safe and sound. The end.